a daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Greg got me for a second. He said, good morning, 35,000 feet over Knoxville. I think I see Troy down there. And I thought to myself, this is how dumb I am. I thought to myself, well, I wonder if he's in Pigeon Forge.
Whoa.
Because, and I was like, well, let's see here.
300 feet above Knoxville.
I was like, Mount LeConte, and then I just did the math in my mind. I was like, well, Mount Everest is 29,000 feet. So if he's 35,000 feet,
Yeah.
that's probably not in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
So
He's probably hang gliding, right?
Hang
He's
gliding.
probably-
Greg, are you hang gliding?
have you
Say
seen
parasailing?
Have you seen those parasailing? It's not parasailing. It might be parasailing. They have engines. It's a one-seater.
Yeah.
Those guys, there's videos of those guys going like 15,000 feet in the air.
Are you talking like ultralights? Is that what they're called?
It
Like
has
it's just a giant wing and a lawn chair underneath it with an engine.
Oh
Basically,
my goodness.
Right. I mean,
even-
I'm exaggerating. But
It's not even an engine. It's a fan, basically. Like it's an engine, obviously, but like it looks like a big industrial circular fan
right.
that's attached to a backpack.
Yeah, I think those are called.
Wow.
I think they call them ultra chat. We've got like, listen,
Coming in hot.
we are privacy minded at OO, so we don't expose who our subscribers are. You know, we don't know, we don't look at this kind of stuff. But occasionally, when people are interacting with me or with somebody else, they mention what they do, and we have the most incredible subscriber base in the world. I mean, we have people that work on the products and build the products you guys use every day. It's kind of incredible. And so I'm just putting this out there to the chat. Is there anybody in the OO community who knows about these ultralight? I think ultralights, microlight aviation. That's a more general term. Paramotor, Troy. I think that's what you're talking about.
Wow.
Paragliding with a paramotor.
Paramotor.
Yeah. Listen, here's the question. A, would you ever do that? And B, how quickly would you die?
Okay. You're talking about the ones that literally are, there's no wing. You're talking about the ones that are just a seat and a fan.
Yeah, with like a parachute.
Yes, paramotors, North American paramotors. Well, you could buy one of these for the cost of a really good SPX trade if you had a long put on a day the market crashed.
They go. So
buy
they
these
go
for
like,
your friends.
They go like 30 miles an hour. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on this.
30 miles an hour and you're 15,000 feet up. Right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, Dan,
Oh my
looking
goodness.
some of these videos, like this guy just that he could see airplanes below him.
That's insane.
Like that is way too high for a paraglider.
Parajet.com, no affiliation.
No, but if they want to have an affiliation,
But what if those guys, can
let
you
us
just,
know.
I mean, when I look at the mentality or the mindset of someone who would do that, I mean, wouldn't they be a good, like a zero? I mean, there's no fear.
selling naked straddles,
Yeah.
paragliding, you know.
We do have a couple of extremely serious outdoor / mountain / rock climbing folks in OO. So people who enjoy, I don't want to say, I don't think it's being an adrenaline junkie, but putting themselves out there, you know.
Can I give you a quick, so you guys got me going, the most interesting career, because I'm like you, I'm fascinated by when people share, I'm interested, you know, in people, you know, their lives and stuff. And so this one guy is kind of, you know, he kind of had that crazy laugh to him. He's just an interesting guy. And we were at seminar one time. I said, I'm just interested in careers that you guys do. And I said, what do you do? And he said, and I could see that laugh, that diabolical kind of laugh. And what he did was he had a big warehouse, nothing exciting about the big warehouse, but what was in that warehouse? And basically he grew rats to sell to the San Diego Zoo, the world famous San Diego Zoo. And I just thought, you gotta be kidding me. And he says, no. And I just have one customer, they get their rats. And then here's where the diabolical laugh came in.
Okay.
Came in. There was an Italian restaurant, like a block or half a block or whatever it was down. He goes, occasionally some of the rats might appear in the, the restaurant, but I like, what a business. How do you even, or whatever party, I sell, I got a warehouse full of rats. I breed them and I sell it to the zoo.
Did that guy by chance have a goatee?
Yeah.
That's my, I continue on. I have not shaved the goatee yet. And so I
like that. The more I see the look is good. I mean,
I appreciate it. I feel evil. I mean, I feel dirty. I feel bad.
I think does a lot of it have to do with like kind of pointing the end?
I think
like
pointing the end makes it more evil. I was reminded, have you ever heard the phrase, you don't want to own a boat, you want to own a friend that has a boat?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was just thinking about this with the I'm listen, this is a safe space. I'm just going to talk about it here. Okay. I'm going to give YouTube seems like a safe, inclusive space to me. And so I took that phrase, but what I do is I shower at the Y. I don't shower at my house anymore. I shower at the YMCA by my house, and I poop at friends' house, and I poop at friends' houses. So our utility bill, things like that, and I am that guy that would use the boat. Anyway, I really don't know what I was.
I don't think that's bad. There's no shame in that.
My wife will be like, she thinks it's funny, but also not funny at all. That I have a YMCA real close to my house.
Mm-hmm.
For those who know, I'm passionate about sauna. Dan's kids who lived in Finland taught me that it's not sauna, it's sauna.
Sauna.
So not enough information, Jones. Not enough information. He said too much information. No, sir. No,
Stick
sir.
around. Wait till we get going.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, the Y is, yeah, for sure. But Breaking Bad's the worst goatee evil. Anyway, the YMCA has great showers, great sauna. Big fan of the YMCA. Shout out YMCA.
Oh, yeah. But why wouldn't you? I mean, at the YMCA, we grew up, went there all the time. And what's the Olympic triathlon there? You've got the sauna, steam, and a shower.
Oh, yeah.
How many older men that I would see when I was younger, now I'm one of those, that would do the steam. They wouldn't even work out. They'd come in, shower, steam, and sauna. I'm like, and I thought, how crazy. Now I look at that and say, that is wonderful.
That's the life.
That's the life.
Right? Dan, that's exactly how I feel. I mean, the first time I went into the Y, if you're someone who doesn't have confidence, may you have the confidence of a 65-year-old guy in the locker room at the Y. Like it is unbelievable. And what happened is slowly through time, someone will say, the first time you go to the Y, your wife's like, you're not one of those guys that just walks around naked at the Y. You're like, of course not. And then like 3 or 4 years later, she's like, you're not one of those guys that walk around naked at the Y, do you? And you just go,
I know. The Y is a unique place, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
And
anyway,
there's no shame.
There's no shame. Oh, no. There's
absolutely no shame.
Listen, it's actually the Y locker room with a bunch of 70 to 90-year-old guys is what I think all of these corporations want. If you want inclusivity, the Y locker room is
it's that's right.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I could talk the whole day.
There? How do you transition from that, Troy?
Well, the locker room and going to the sauna, to me, the sauna is about consistency.
There you go.
And so let's look at some consistency here, okay?
All right.
So we're going to review what we've put on so far in the small account challenge.
Exciting.
Yeah. Now remember, I put on way too many contracts for the first time for the Monday trade. So this is going to be skewed, okay? So don't be afraid. But here's what we got so far, okay? So we put on last Monday, and this is closed trades, okay? This is not open trades. These are everything that's been closed that we've put on so far, okay?
Okay.
And so options are like a sauna, Greg. You think of analogies, it works out. These are the 4 trades that we've put on last week that have closed. So
okay,
let's start from the bottom. And now we're here, as they say.
As they say.
Monday, we put on a Monday double calendar. Now let's pretend that we would have done 1 instead of 10, which is probably what we should have done. Okay. So just convert that from 600 to 60. That's really what it would have been. A $60 winner, right? But let's just look at it for a second. You paid $278. You risked, theoretically, because something can happen and you lose all of that. So you have to, even with defined risk trades, you paid $278 and you got about 21% out of that trade. So $60. Okay. Yeah. You think about this from small account. That's about what you want.
That's right.
And let's just stop there for a second. I think that's really important to people. We're going through and we're working on this new show, Options with the Boys. And we're talking about options. And you say, like, if you have $5,000 in your account and you're just starting out, that feels safe. Like, can you lose $278 and sleep at night if you have $5,000 in the account? Yes. Yes, you can. Are you going to make $6,000 a trade on a $5,000 account? No, you're not. Right? It's about consistency. And here's where it's really not about small account. It's about traders in general. Just up that to your account. Do the math and that. What you risked versus what you made, Anyway, I digress. The Tuesday one, we did 1 lot.
Yes. And
it kind of worked out the exact same way. The Monday trade, we made 21.6%. The Tuesday trade, we made 21.9%. It's a completely different DC, right? But it's not that different, just different strikes.
Yeah.
Right? Put on a whole different day. All right. I love segues, Wendy. In both terrible segues between 2 subjects and the mall cops. I love all types of segues. So I agree with that. We had our first loser in our small account challenge.
There it is.
The Monday, Wednesday, 2-7.
I did that trade. That's the one I had on. But I
absolutely
no. But you know what? I was going to do a video on that. I love that trade.
Yeah.
Because what was amazing, if anybody had did that trade, the interesting thing was when it came off on Friday. All right, we got out at 280 credit. I did the same thing, pretty sure, as Troy. But if you look at where that closed at, and again, this is a $280 trade, so you can get the percentages there. I think this closed at 230. So if you look at the graph of this trade, it was in the middle. It was triggered by the short long ratio, meaning there wasn't anything left, right? Or you weren't, right? That'd be the best way to say it. There was if you look at the graph of it at the time, towards the end of the day, there was a big sag in the middle and it got you out, right? And I love that. I mean, it was the best down $8 trade that I've seen in a while, because that's risk management. That's risk management. That it wasn't from a price move. We were in the middle of the graph, no problemo from a price move, but the premium and that short long ratio got us out. So I actually like that trade. Because of the rail, Matt, if you want to expand on that.
I'll just say, I traded DCs manually for years, and the automation tool platform is really nice for things like this, because the short long ratio is something that, like, if you're trying to go about your day and you're trying to trade this manually, like I would have these, I would just have like a little Excel sheet, and at the top of every minute I'd plug in, okay, is this going to match the back test? Like I'm at 2090 on this one and 1085 on this and 312 on this and 287 on this. And like, is that the short long above or below? Like, is it there yet? Did I, with the automation platform, it just, I don't have to have an Excel spreadsheet anymore. It's very chill. It does exactly the point, which is it's just automating something that I used to have to do manually. So it's just one of those nice things about the platform. And, people use the short long exits. There's also short long entry. And a lot of times they'll use them on diagonals, on calendars, single, double, whatever. But there's, maybe someday we'll talk about there's some other applications for the short long ratios as well. So
can I mention one quick comment on that?
Yeah.
And excuse me for the phone in the background going on there. I can't reach it. And nobody's down
I love it.
here.
I love that music.
Yeah,
let's roll. Let's go.
Hopefully it'll go. But here's the thing: when you're doing double calendars, like a 20 delta or a 15 delta, I think what people forget is the middle of the graph is going to be sagging, right? If you look at a 15 or 20 delta, you're not going to have that middle of the graph up. So the thing you're thinking when you start a trade like that, a mixed month trade, you're thinking, okay, how is that curve going to go down? And it's going to go down by either the volatility decreasing or, well, part of it's short long ratio. So on those type of trades, it's not bad to have the sag in the middle because you have a lot of room there. But I think having those parameters in place, the short long ratio or an awareness of where the volatility is, like from a practical example, if it's okay to mention, right now we're around 17 VIX, or we popped under 17. I'm comfortable with that. If someone said, well, Dan, you're long Vega and these mixed month trades, right now, I'm not saying I don't care, but I'm comfortable with those levels. Going into July is a big earnings. You got a lot of stuff going on. Those are comfortable levels right now. I don't think we're going back to 12 VIX. So, I'm very thankful for that short long ratio on that small DC trade, because if I would have just stayed in it till the end, I looked at the end of the day, that was like, as I said, $2.30. You think $50 isn't a big deal, but $50 percentage wise on 280 is a big deal, right? That's almost 30%. So anyways,
yeah,
shout out to the originators of the short long ratio. And I think that's very helpful risk management.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, the last one is the Mark Anderson small account afternoon Condor.
Hey, start out with a winner.
I love starting out trades with a winner. Let me real quick just to show you what this is.
That was yesterday.
What is this? This is the one we put on yesterday.
Yesterday.
Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so what is this? This is a 2:45 Condor, 2:45 p.m. Condor, Monday and Friday. One contract, because we keep things small in the small account challenge. Your VIX is a max of 21, so you don't want this in volatile environments really at all. And you sell the 40 delta call and put, and it's 10 wide each side. Pretty simple. Your exit is you exit either with a 50% profit target, or you exit the trade at 352. And so it's pretty straightforward. It works pretty well. And as you can see here, we got out about at 48 points. So we were almost at 50% when we got out. In fact, it hit. And then by the time, the way that works is because it's real life trading, we hit at the profit target. And then by the time it got out, it had gone down to 48 with slippage. So that, in my mind, worked great. It was nice to see that in the afternoon. I like those afternoon trades. I've seen some really terrible afternoon trades, and I've seen some really good afternoon trades. And I've seen some terrible. I mean, this sounds pedantic. I've seen some terrible morning trades. I've seen some good trades.
You've seen it all, Troy.
I really have seen it all, and have participated in it all. Cried during it all.
So this one's interesting from the sizing perspective, because you see a big number in the P&L percentage, but the P&L itself, it's still the biggest one of the trades. But is there a good way to scale this down even more for the SAC? And the answer is, man, that's tough, because if you're trading this in a small account, trading it on an assignable security is going to be tough late in the day. The broker is probably not going to love that. And then doing this in XSP, even though it's kind of close to the money, it does have exits. So the liquidity concerns with XSP are, you'd have to look at that. You know, even on small lots, there are people who have different stories about the liquidity of XSP, but late in the day, when a trade is going against you, there's questions about rug pulls on the strikes and stuff. So I think, it's this trade is kind of probably does have the potential for the biggest winners and the biggest losers, but you're only doing it twice a week, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So your sequence risk is probably, I mean, it is back to back, but you're going to have other trades in between there during the week. And so, by the way, Troy, should we just encourage the chat again? If you guys have back tests or strategies you want to submit for the small account challenge, Troy, are we open to that?
Oh yeah.
Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. DM me in Discord. I would love that, because here's the thing. This is endless. The amount of trades you can do. And in fact, because of the sequence risk Matt's talking about, there's really a benefit. And I mean, I'll be super honest. I'll talk my book for a second. I, in a million years, would rather trade 50 small trades that are all over the place all week than 3 trades with 20% of my account. And there's people who do that and kill it. So I'm not no shade, but the way I trade is very similar to a small account, sized up a little bit, obviously, but like it is very similar. And so I love this challenge. I think it's great. And I think when you have a small money, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. It's the definition of it.
Well, and you want to, don't you think the key, guys, is when you start, if you're going to have 20 trades on, I don't want to turn it into a Three Stooges or a Laurel and Hardy. I want it automated. Yeah. There's no way I would do that if it wasn't. And one quick thing back to Mark's, the small, I like about that, to do, that's SPX, right? So to do a $500 trade in SPX, and I like, from someone who wasn't as likes the data, has traded for years, but just kind of didn't know really the data. I like the Monday, Friday, because really when you think about Monday, Friday trading, especially, and you're trading well after the opening, right? So you're not involved with really any news. I mean, per se, if there's any big gaps, you avoid it. Most of the news, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you avoid it. You avoid Friday. I mean, to a degree, you're doing this stuff after, but I like it. And right now, obviously, yesterday I did a Iron Condor in the morning. It was a 30 delta in SPX, and obviously yesterday was a very good day from the range of SPX. Just so people don't go and put 1,000 of these on. Yesterday was, what was the range in SPX yesterday? 30 points. I mean, you could have put Iron Condors on it. If you cherry pick a day, this is a good trade period. But if you cherry pick the day, yesterday, you could have made up something and it would have worked, right? If it was kind of a range bound trade. But I like that risk reward again, to do a $500 risk in SPX. I mean, these are all wonderful. And what's nice is they're not stressful. You're putting, and they're going on and they're making you look good from risk management, because you're not going to screw it up. Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
When you're out talking to a neighbor. Yeah,
that's right. Listen, real quick. I know you guys want to hear more sauna stories, but do you mind if I just talk about what we're going to do today real quick?
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping we'd talk more paramotors.
I love paramotors. Sauna Paramotor combination would be powerful. Okay. So do you see this trade?
Sure do.
All right. We talked about this trade a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is the weird trade that I thought was interesting that I like. And it is a DC when there's a 0.6% move up. So when we're up 0.6% on the day, we put on a 923.
There you go.
Chat. And it's in Qs. It's a one lot. And it's a 923. These 923s, I think I've told you the story of this before. I was showing Dan one time how much I love these 923s. And I said, thank you so much for teaching me this. And he said, I don't think I ever taught you a 923. But I still give credit. As long as it's winning, I give credit to Dan. The minute it stops winning, I'll take credit for it myself.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's a fair shake. But basically, you open the trade. This is floating entry. So anytime in the day and between first thing in the morning, last minute of the day, anytime we move up 0.6%, we're going to put on a 923. It's a 20 delta strangle, basically 9 days out, and you buy the longs 23 days out of the same strike. And I like this trade a lot. I'm going to show you one thing real quick. This is not checked. Why did I not check that? You can check either way. You can test both of them. I don't mind with 923s, personally speaking, in a small account. I don't mind them being diagonalized a little bit. That's just me. This is the beauty of it. I'm trading this. You can change it. You know, I don't have access to your account. I don't have access to your tests. You can definitely reverse it. It can be better. I like unchecking those sometimes with the longer dated ones because I just am weird like that. So
yeah, and on top of that, with this test in
that's
particular,
going to run forever. Sorry, I'm not going to run that because it's a floating entry. It'll take like 5 minutes.
The other thing to mention with this is, and this has happened a lot this year, if you have a test like this that requires a move up condition, you're already out to a 923. So the strikes are out a little bit. It's not that common to have a situation where the exact strikes and the exact DT are not found. And again, some of these moves today, we had a move a couple weeks ago in SPX where like the end of the day at the money strike was not on the option chain. Like may have not, it was either the strike or it was, I think 35. Somebody will remember this day, but like this, because we had like a multiple percent move up a couple days before, and the market makers, I guess they were all at Portillo's. They were having the double Italian beef. Ooh. They never got around to putting out the strike. So, and that was in SPX, you know, the biggest index in the world. So it does happen that the exact DT and the exact strikes are not found all the time.
For that reason, I'm going to just lock it because I want to keep consistency for a small account. So
okay,
let's do it. But I just want to say that up front because sometimes in the chat and Discord, especially, people will be like, does he not know what he's doing? I personally don't mind certain strategies not having the same strike.
I agree. I don't think it's a bit. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Now, short term, like if you're doing 0 day stuff, you better make sure it's locked down.
Yeah. Right.
But like a 923, I'm okay. I'm okay diagonalizing. I know that's a different trade. I get that. Anyway, that's advanced option stuff. So anyway, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna automate it. We're gonna make it live. We're gonna say 1 contract per trade. Because it's the Qs, the entry execution is going to be $1 instead of 5 at 1 cent. Sorry, that'd be expensive slippage. And let's give it a 3-minute.
No, you already have floating entry, don't you?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Good job. Okay.
What about well, you probably don't. Do you want move conflicted?
We'll move conflicts. Well,
I mean, I mean, it's dealer's choice.
I'll keep it on there. Yeah, I'll keep it on there just to be consistent.
Yeah.
And
Troy, could you explain that real quick again for just people? Move conflict. Okay, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So if you have strikes on, can you hear me? Did I mute?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Okay, sweet. If you have strikes on, and basically you already have those on, we're going to skip that for you, right? If there's a conflicting strike there.
I like that.
Yeah.
That causes grief in with people.
Well, it's the number one thing, to your point earlier about if you have 15 trades on.
Yeah.
So it will, if you're using the offsets like we just turned on, the green padlock, it's going to move in tandem because of that move strike. So you might get a different delta. It might look a little different, but in real life, that's what you would do. If you want to put this trade on, but you have conflicting strikes, you would do that, right? If you still want to take the trade, that's what you're going to do. You're going to move the strikes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so we'll do that. And
it's not going to go on most days.
It's not going to go. No, this is, I mean,
it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. You think about days that,
Troy, do you want an early exit? Sorry, that's the only other thing. Maybe like a 0 DTE 230 exit or something.
But no, because this is a 923.
Right. I mean, but there's no.
See, this is the real life trading part of it.
I mean, I know you didn't run the back test, so my one thought would be is since it's an assignable. You do have.
It's true, and this is the beauty of the thing is you don't have to do it according to the back test, although we encourage you to. So for this, just to show you that we can do this, I'm going to get out.
230 is what we've been doing for the.
Okay, yeah, and it's a 9 day, so by that point, the dust is settled. So
yeah.
All right, so we're good. I'm going to exit the trade, doing it live. So anyway, that's the nice thing about that is if you come across things that say you have a good test, especially, and again, I'm just going to say this. I know we have people who are new and people who are really used to back testing. You can be, I see people who are really, really good at back testing, but haven't traded a lot. There is an art to this. It's not just Excel sheets like that. That could change the test, but then you have to do some nuanced questions and ask yourself, did it change the test really from a 923 if I take it off at 2? If a 9 day, I'm in this trade for up to 9 days. If I exit that last hour, did it bankrupt me? And if it did, that's weird. I want to pause it.
Your problem.
Yeah, I want to put. It's like that scene from Royal Tenenbaums. Everybody says that Custer died in the Battle of Little Bighorn. My book's thesis is maybe he didn't. That's kind of what the test is. So
you went to live with the Lakota or what? I'd love to talk about this theory on another OO show.
So paramotoring, where Troy both defecates and showers.
Sauna
and anyway.
So reminder, if you have any trades you want to look at in the SAC, or if you want to take this one that we that Troy linked and play around with different things, chat, you've got the link right there. Hit us up if you're a paramotorer with stories about soaring among the planes and the clouds.
Oh yeah. Now listen, I can't guarantee it for tomorrow, but real quick.
Is this J Powell? Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that.
No, that's next week, right? Is it next week?
Oh, next week is J Powell.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday?
Yes.
So real quick in the chat, I'm going to throw out two things. A, if Greg's still listening, I'm so stupid. I just connected this. Are you still flying in the air watching the OO show? Greg,
we're on major airlines all over the world.
Well, that's what I was wondering. He might be the first person in history to listen to us while he's on the airplane.
I love it.
Yeah. So 2, quick thing in the chat. Would you guys be interested if we did some live stuff during these type of announcements? Like a show.
Oh, like a show during FOMC?
A show during FOMC. Would you guys like it if maybe Rusty came on?
What?
We talked about, we chopped it up as my friend Matt says, at around FOMC dates. Would you guys have any interest in that? If so, you can reach out to us. You can put it in the chat. We do that anyway off the air. So you can let us know. Mr. Flawless comes through.
100% of people said yes.
100% of the people want us to do that, and I think I like Nifkula's. That's a little bit more. That's fine.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
That's going in the S column.
You want to? It's fine.
If you want to.
Yeah, that's fun. All right, cool. Well, we might consider it. We've got 3 yeses. That's 300%. 4. Oh boy, it's getting stronger.
5.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it. So we're not going to wait here for 20 minutes for everybody to answer.
Hey, futures up 9.
Futures up 9. Listen, have a great day. We will be looking at more trades. We will eventually not do the small account challenge because the whole point of a challenge is for it to be temporary. But I think it's fun, and we'll keep going with it because I think it's given us some good ideas. So, all right, guys, listen, have a great trading day. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to you soon.